Hello everyone, it's time to move up to the next top 10 list, this time the top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL duels. Like the last ones, character development, the stakes, and the memorable scenes, and everything is based on my opinion of course. And also, this is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series because a lot of memorable characters, you know, the Arc-like brothers, the Variant Emperors, even our main characters themselves, yes, including Yuma, because character development, which is what makes this my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And also, Yuma sucking in the beginning is actually the point. But anyway, no more wasting time and let's begin. For my number 10, 3 and 5 versus Masel. First off, Arc-like brothers dueling, that's one. Second, I like how the Arc-like brothers are dueling not to win the duel, but rather to stall for time. But if they do win, it's still a win. And this is what I like about the Arc-like brothers. And 3, unlike all those traditional duels where the villain usually has the upper hand before our main hero has the final turn and makes a big move to turn it around, this one had it the other way around where the heroes had the advantage in the beginning and the villain had to turn it around. Like when 3 summons Chaos number 6, Chaos Atlantis, to equip Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon to prevent Masel from activating the 7th one. That took me by surprise, alright, causing a dragon tamer without a dragon, which of course caused Masel to have to figure out a way to get his Tachyon Dragon back so he could summon his Neo Tachyon. But then when it went to 5's turn, or V, he summons Chaos Dyson Sphere, which can inflict effect damage, but it would be useless because Masel would still survive. But with Chaos Atlantis' ability, it changed his life point to 1, which made me laugh so hard that this actually happened. Which of course V would use his Chaos Dyson Sphere's effect damage abilities, which Masel would negate all that, and of course would use a card to force our heroes to take back his Tachyon, which of course next turn he will summon his Neo Tachyon through his 7th one, and use his effect on the show for the first time, which rewinds everything. And what I like about this scene is that the soundtrack also rewinded as well, which of course brings in their very last moment where Yuma actually has to watch them die. And of course Masel praising them for putting up a good fight till the very end. In the sub anyway. So yeah, the Arc-like brothers and Neo Tachyon. Number 9, Yuma vs Kaito, episode 72 and 73. So 1, rematch between protagonist and rival, which are always good. Also, it's a slice of life duel. You know, characters can have fun, give it their all, and unpredictable outcomes can happen because there are no stakes. This was also a duel where Yuma can show how much he has grown throughout the series from the beginning to the middle, and I really like it. He held out his own without Astral's help in most of the cases, taking some pointers maybe, but throughout the whole entire duel, he was mainly dueling himself, with even Astral acknowledging that, and Yuma acknowledging that Astral is actually what keeps up his spirits, and that they make a team. I really like that dynamic, by the way, showing how much Astral has grown as well. And then for the duel itself, we got a regular Utopia versus Galaxy Eyes, and throughout the duel, we even see Kaito's struggle, and was even going to give up the duel as well because he has no reason to duel anymore, unlike Yuma to have fun, in which Yuma encouraged him to actually put up his spirit and actually have fun dueling rather than just duel for something all the time. And of course Kaito understanding Yuma as well. And even Astral encourages them to have fun dueling. That says something for a serious character. And then during the next few turns they summoned some few fancy monsters. It was pretty much an evenly matched duel, which is what I also very like. Up to the final turn where Hope Ray and Neo Galaxy Eyes fought each other, in which both players activate Exceed Double Back to summon back their Evolve and Base Form Ace monsters, with Kaido putting the win, which actually surprised me because I actually expected Yuma to win this, because this is a rematch between a protagonist and rival, which earns me some bonus points for that too, for a surprise. And a hype up of another match because Yuma still continues to grow, which unfortunately never happened. So yeah, a fun slice of life evenly matched duel between a protagonist and rival with a surprise outcome. Number 8, 4 versus Nash. I really like the role reversal of Shark versus 4, when Shark was the hero and 4 was the villain, just for Shark to become the villain and became Nash, and now 4 is the hero trying to bring him back. There was also Nash's over 100 number to look forward to, which is of course Silent Honor Arc Knight. And then 4 summoning new gimmick puppets a ranked up version of each one of them, which took me by surprise because I was not expecting them to have rank up cards, with Giant Killer destroying his Arknight, and then the iconic Baryon's Chaos Draw scene where every Baryon Emperor other than Vector draws a 7th one and summons their Chaos over 100 number. And then we get to For's turn again and he summons Chaos number 40, in which it doesn't work against Dark Knight because Dark Knight always resurrects itself as long as it has an overlay unit and recovers your life points too, and deal huge amount of damage to Nash, and then Nash turning his fan service line against 4, where he shows all his allies dying one by one against the Baryon Emperors. And then the next turn after that, he brings out his number 88, Disaster Leo, which had the ability to deal 4,000 points of damage, which would be an OTK in the anime, but thanks to Dark Knight, he keeps recovering a bunch of life points so he survived it. But just like Destiny Leo, where he has no overlay units, you automatically win the game, in which Nash survived because he gave an overlay unit before that happened, which resorted him into a Destiny draw that gave him the victory. And in 4's last moment, Nash walks up to him, and both characters try to understand each other, with 4 understanding the responsibility that Nash is carrying. So yeah, nice role reversal, Shark dueling as Nash for the first time, nice gimmick puppets, and the interaction between the characters. Number 7. Kaito vs Tron. I mean, there was already tension between these two characters. Tron kidnapped Kaito's little brother, Heart, which of course would make him want to have vengeance. And Tron already wants vengeance against Faker, so of course he would take his kids for vengeance for that purpose. And in my opinion, Tron is a better villain than Faker, literally not giving a shit about angering others, which is what he wants, by the way. It's nice to see Galaxy Eyes a number 8 again, especially Kaito summoning Dyson Sphere and Neo Galaxy Eyes, just to reveal that Tron is able to summon number 69 by using all their anger and hatred to fuel it, and steals Neo Galaxy Eyes' effect and wins the game, in which Tron is the only one who defeated Kaito fair and square, in ZEXAL anyway, as Faker has to watch his son suffer. So yeah, the tension between the two characters and both characters being under vengeance against each other, that of course brings a lot. Number 6. Yuma vs Astral, the ceremonial duel. Now, unlike all the other ceremonial duels, this is of course not going to be in the top of my list, as there are way better duels in this series and this one is not as great. But I do like the stakes though. This is not really your typical ceremonial duel. This is one that there will be stakes. Astral is attempting to erase Baryon World. This is considered Yuma's final test to see if he's able to surpass him, and considering how much he grew from the beginning of the series, and how much he's done without Astral, this was definitely the time. Yuma summoning his own fancy monsters of the deck he built against Astral, and Astral summoning 5 Utopias in one turn. My only gripe, he didn't summon one regular monster in the main deck. But whatever. I also like the interaction between the duel, which eventually leads to Yuma summoning future number 0, Utopic Future, which represents Yuma's future. And I also like it when Astral summons Utopia Roots, he uses numbers 62 and 32, which represents Kaito and Shark's numbers, against Yuma, which of course represents that Astral still cares about his old fallen comrades, in which when Yuma eventually turns it around, Astral is forced to summon number 99 Utopic Dragon, which looks awesome and a fitting final form for Utopia, I would say. I know it's a dragon, it's kinda cliche. And then in Yuma's final turn, the clash between Utopic Future and Utopic Dragon, which of course symbolizes Yuma's and Astral's future, which of course Utopic Future wins that clash, and then Yuma going for the direct attack, Astral plays a trap card, the Doors of Destiny, which was actually the door that started it all, how Yuma met Astral. Really love that symbolism, in which Yuma plays double at chance to win the game. So yeah, nice character interactions, and it's also nice to see how much Yuma has grown, and also some fancy monsters. Number 5. Yuma vs Aphis. This was definitely Yuma in his best without Astral at the time, with even a chance to bring Astral back as well. I like Aphis's new orders, they were awesome. And even with Yuma summoning Utopia Ray Victory, which actually would give him his victory usually, he still struggles, and then Aphis summoning a surprising monster that is rank 13. Which took me by surprise, by the way, because I never expected a rank 13 ever, because max level was 12. And of course Aphis continues to use his rank up cards because ranking up is a way to get stronger, but Yuma showing that it's not the only way, so he uses a rank down magic to summon Utopia Roots, which went to insane amount of attacks, 79,600? Holy motherfucking shit. Now my only gripe about this duel is that the flashback between Shark and Vector was happening in the middle of it, the past Baryon selves. But other than that, I really like Yuma dueling on his own against a very powerful opponent. The New Orders was awesome, and also the moment with Utopia Roots, and also Astral being resurrected, which was very touching. Number 4. Yuma and Nash vs. Dawn Thousand. Normally I don't like really insane powerful villains, but in this case, it was just so much fun to watch. I just love the shit Dawn Thousand pulls. Summoning Chaos number 1, which will deal huge amounts of damage, which of course our hero would do everything they can to counter it, which of course they will. Aphis' death to destroy Numeron Network. Really wish we could see more of him though. And then we got Chaos number 1000 Numeronius, which had 10,000 attack in its base number. Yeah. And then when we got to the point where the heroes were about to lose, Kaito's ghost appears and encourages Yuma and also awakens the Numeron Dragon and summons it. I just love that. Which of course Numeron Dragon counters everything, which of course forces Dawn Thousand to summon an even more ridiculous monster, Chaos Imagining number 1000, Numeronius Numeronia, which has 100,000 attack. You must attack it, and it's unaffected by card effects. And if you don't attack it, you lose. Which of course will force our heroes to do some bullshit, but before they do that, they set up their field with Utopia, Nash summoning number 73, which of course represents him, and then also bringing back Numeron Dragon, which represents Kaito. Which I also like the shot of Yuma in ZEXAL form with Astral of course, Nash which is also Shark, and also the ghost of Kaido in the middle. I really like that shot, with their 3 monsters representing them. And also with Nash entrusting the hopes to Yuma, with their combined effects, Yuma was able to bring Utopia to 102,000 attack, which of course will overpower Dawn Thousand's Numeronius Numeronia. And I also really like the moment that when they were announcing their effects, the person representing the monster also says the effect together with Yuma. And when Yuma did his big attack, Dawn Thousand negates it and gives himself all the life points right there. The largest amount of life points I ever seen in a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. And despite the 2 monsters having the highest attack in Yu-Gi-Oh history, that is not infinite, Yuma raises it up even higher with double up chance to 204,000. And I also like the visual of all the other Utopias together attacking one big monster. So yeah, ridiculous stuff happened in this duel. The largest attack in Yu-Gi-Oh history, Kaido's ghosts, and of course the visual of them 3 together with their monsters. And Numeron Dragon was awesome. Number 3, Nash vs Vector. A very hyped up match, and could go either way, because there was already a hyped up match between Yuma and Nash, and also Yuma and Vector. So this duel could have gone either way, which I also liked. There was already tension between Nash and Vector, and both of them are villains, which is another bonus. Vector summoning Nash's fallen comrades as ace monsters, and using it against him, which eventually caused Nash to take Vector's number 65, Judge Devil, which was Vector's legendary number by the way, and turn it on his curse, which was number 104, Masquerade, which of course awakens Vector's memories, which is kind of my only gripe about this duel because Nash has to take Vector's legendary number to awaken his memories, which was kind of stupid in my opinion, but whatever. Even with Vector awakening all his memories and knowing what Dawn Thousand did to him, he was such a freaking troll, making the heroes think that he's letting them finish him off just to take Dawn Thousand's power and awaken his final form, which I don't really like its design, and summon Chaos number 5, Chaos Chimera Dragon, which was kinda weird because regular number 5 hasn't shown up at that point, and tries to finish Nash with it, which of course fails, in which Nash's next turn he summons the legendary number that represents him, which I actually like, which is number 73, Abyss Splash, in which that didn't work, which he ranks it up to Abyss Supra, and finishes off Vector with the very legendary number that represents him, thus bringing the end to their pass. So yeah, overall villain versus villain matchup, I really like Vector trolling. Some awesome monsters appear, especially Abyss Supra. Number 2, Kaido versus Masel, 133 and 134. A very hyped up match, especially with two similar monsters. We of course got the clash between Galaxy Eyes and Tachyon, especially with their evolved forms, the Neo ones, which of course Masel won, forcing Kaido to awaken the true power of his Galaxy Eyes to a number 62, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, which he of course turns things around with it. And then with Masel turning it back around by bringing back his Neo Tachyon and destroying his Prime Photon, Kaido plays a trap to bring out number 46, which was Masel's legendary number. And of course that clash happened, awakening Masel's memories, which I sympathize with, forcing to kill his own dragon. And even with Masel denying all of that, the duel continues where Kaido still struggles, and I really like the interaction between him and Orbital, and then Masel using Tachyon Downfall Cannon, which decreases his Tachyon Dragon's attack by half for additional attack until it has less than 500, which of course he goes to a full-on onslaught with Kaido having limited protection, which eventually caused Kaido's suit to crack, which was kind of scary because I thought he was gonna die before the duel ended, and also damaging Orbital in the process because that was the only thing keeping him alive at the moon. And then on the very next turn, he summons back his Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, and then Masel tried to use Neo Tachyon's effect to reverse that effect, which doesn't work because Prime Photon activated 2 turns ago, and the full effect finishes at the second standby phase. Their two monster clashes, and while in the middle of their clash, Kaido made a confession on that Masel is the true dragon tamer and he was never one in the first place. He only just decided to use dragons because he was all thinking about his brother, and how seeing that card actually met other people, which eventually became his friends. And what's even sadder is that his friends and his family were watching this duel as well, which eventually will make Kaido do the final blow with Prime Photon and win the duel, awakening the Numeron Dragon, and collapses on the ground, dying. But before that happened, he entrusts the Numeron Dragon to Masel and dies in front of his friends and family, and even Masel crying for him, realizing he did everything to save him from Dawn Thousand, which was quite a shock to me because I never expected someone to physically die in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise and still win the game. Now my only gripe about this duel is that Masel cheated his way to summon Neo Tachyon through his rank up magic, not summoning any main deck monsters, which I don't really like. But a lot of emotional weight in this duel. Prime Photon was awesome, the interaction between the characters were awesome, and also the final part where Kaido dies, which actually took me by surprise and took me quite emotional. Now before I go to my number 1, honorable mentions, Yuma Kaito Shark vs Faker. Not really the best duel, but I really like the interaction and teamwork between the 3 characters, especially the visual of having all 3 of their ace monsters all together, facing one big villain ace monster being Hard Earth Dragon. Yuma and Astral vs number 96, 109 and 110. For a side villain, this is actually one of my favorite duels. I like how number 96, when he uses his field spell Chaos Universe, he takes his opponent's number monsters from their extra decks and summon them and rank them up, which funny enough, they were the previous main villain ace monsters. And also Utopia Ray getting some time to shine, even though I would prefer Hope Ray Victory to go up against Dark Storm, because they're both rank up versions of their ace monsters. And finally, Yuma and Kaito versus 3 and 4. Mainly because Neo Galaxy Eyes was awesome, and Kaito's anger and the build of trust between the protagonist and rival. And now to number 1, it's probably on everyone's number 1 list for Yu-Gi-Oh! ZEXAL Duels. Yuma vs Nash. 141 to 143. Probably one of the most emotional duels in the anime, considering that both characters carry heavy weight around them, and having to force to kill their best friends. Yuma bringing out Utopia, which represents Astral World of course, and to turn things around with it, which eventually caused Nash to summon back his over 100 numbers, which of course represents his allies, and also summoning it to Yuma's side, which I also kinda like that the numbers that are on Yuma's sides actually associated with Yuma before, and the one on Nash's sides actually were loyal to him. I really like that representation right there. And using all over 100 numbers, he summons Chaos Exceed, Baryon of Hope, which was an awesome moment, and I really like the visualization of Baryon Hope representing all the Baryon Emperors fighting as one, which of course has a lot of meaning to Nash. And I really like it every time when he uses one of their effects, because that's what Baryon Hope's effect is, that he inherits the effects of all the over 100 numbers that he has overlay units to. Every time he uses one of those effects, the over 100 number representing that character, their spirit appears right next to him. And also the amount of beating that Hope was getting, yeah. And then of course Yuma understanding why Nash is refusing to use the overlay units because it represents his allies, which eventually leads him to summon Utopia Beyond, which I also like the summoning sequence with all the other Utopias together combining, using all the other forms of Utopia combined as one, which of course made the clash between Utopia Beyond and Baryon Hope, and of course the symbolism of Nash protecting Baryon Hope along with its overlay units no matter what, which eventually will hurt him when Baryon Hope actually got destroyed, causing him to play a trap to bring back Black Ray Lancer. Really wish it was Shark Drake instead, because I would prefer Shark Drake, which of course Yuma reminded Shark about their old monsters going up against each other with Utopia and Black Ray Lancer, which I kind of prefer Shark Drake over that. And Yuma trying to understand Shark and trying to go back to how things were, but Shark already understood Yuma and always knew how much it actually hurted Yuma that he had to fight for the Baryons, and telling him that they always understood each other, it's just he had to fight for his own people. Really love the interaction right there. And of course Nash summoning back some of his old monsters as Shark, and eventually lead to the final stand between Utopia and Baryon Hope, which Nash played a trap card that caused a destiny draw between the two. And one of my favorite moments is when Yuma decided to separate himself with Astral and declare the final attack himself and negating his own attack, which of course due to his trap, Nash had to play his card, otherwise he'll automatically lose the duel, where all the banished over 100 numbers will be placed as overlay units for Baryon Hope, making all the Baryon Emperors stand together one last time, and due to his spell, whatever damage that he would take is inflicted on Yuma instead, which didn't happen because Yuma negated his own attack. And then during the end phase, his life points are changed equal to the same amount equal to how much his opponent would have taken through his spell, which was 0, so his life point has been changed to 0. Yeah, that's a very unique way of a character ever winning, because he negated his own attack without realizing that he would actually win the duel because of that. Now my only gripe with this duel is that number 32 Shark Drake did not appear with a rank up form. But yeah, overall, love the interactions, the clash between Utopia and Baryon Hope, love the representation of Baryon Hope for the Baryon Emperors, and also one of the most unique ways of winning the game. So that's it for this list. This one was way tougher than 5Ds because there was a lot more memorable duels due to the memorable scenes and the character development, especially the memorable characters, way more than 5Ds in my opinion. But in that, go ahead and tell me your list down below. And of course, the next list will of course be Arc 5. Then have a nice day.